The fact that Blake Lively has been rude and cruel to people throughout her career.
Blake Lively is spiraling as her friends and co-stars begin exposing her dark past one after another.
Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
Oh, we're talking about you all day.
Oh my God.
Her once flawless reputation is crumbling rapidly, and the cracks are becoming impossible to conceal.
Slamming Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. He basically said that they effed.
They're exposing how she manipulated them behind the scenes, using the same shady tactics she's now employing against Justin Baldoni.
If I'm sorry will ever undo it. Hurt people hurt people.
Blake Lively's flawless princess image is finally coming back to haunt her, and honestly, it's long overdue. For years, she strutted around as Hollywood's picture of elegance, flashing that fake smile and pretending to be just another down-to-earth mom married to Ryan Reynolds and living the dream.
The more time we got to spend with Blake Lively, the less we liked her.
Well, guess what, Blake? In 2025, no one's falling for it anymore. Your America's Sweetheart act is officially dead, buried, and completely destroyed.
Dramatic in a release statement. She probably was even more dramatic in just being the friend that supports your friend even when you know you're lying.
And honestly, watching her downfall is almost poetic, like the universe finally decided to humble Blake once and for all. Lawsuits are swirling around like confetti at her delusional comeback party, and it's not just Blake going under. She's dragging Ryan Reynolds and Leslie Sloan down with her like a ship captain refusing to sink alone.
Ridiculous, and it just feels so incredibly hypocritical.
If there were a reality show called Hollywood's Biggest Legal Clown Show, Blake would be the main attraction while Ryan awkwardly claps in the background. Fast forward to April 2025, when things reached peak delusion. Blake's team had a chance to show an ounce of decency in court, something as simple as granting a short deadline extension. But no, Queen Blake doesn't do courtesy. When Justin Baldoni's team at Wayfair politely asked for a bit of breathing room, Blake's team slammed the door in their face faster than she accepts another bland rich girl movie role.
It's weird. It's just weird. I don't get it. We'll see why, but they seem to want to make it as difficult as possible, which I guess is part of a plan. And if you want to be, and all the drown them in paperwork is what they're trying to do. And maybe I could see that maybe of just like Justin's side has so much more going for them.
While Justin and Wayfair were busy responding to over 500 discovery demands. Yes, 500. Blake's team acted like they were too important to even acknowledge them. The irony is priceless, because federal judges aren't exactly impressed by Hollywood tantrums. With the official trial deadline set for March 2026, here's a spoiler. Judges don't hand out Oscars for Best Courtroom Diva.
To just keep constantly drowning them and costing more money and just stressing them probably is part of the plan in a way to just turn the screw that way, whereas Brian keeps threatening them with all the, depositions of celebrities and friends that are going to come out and expose you.
But Blake being Blake, of course it gets worse. Welcome to round 2 of her courtroom circus, starring her team's heroic refusal to cooperate. Honestly, you almost have to admire the consistency, because if there's one thing Blake's team truly excels at, it's being unapologetically petty.
Unbelievable. Blake Lively's team will not cooperate in court.
After already throwing a tantrum over basic extensions, Blake and her loyal sidekick Leslie Sloan decided to take the madness to the next level, serving a jaw-dropping 1,600-plus discovery requests and tossing in 79 interrogatories for good measure. That's not legal work. It's harassment disguised in Prada.
That Blake and Leslie's parties will not agree to push their hearings and stuff. Basically, Wayfair was served with 31 different sets of interrogatories from the Lively Sloan party.
And it gets even better. After burying Justin's team in more paperwork than Blake has edited Instagram photos, they had the nerve to act shocked when his side requested a simple 30-day extension from April 14th to May 14th, 2025. That's it, just 1 month. Yet Blake's team clutched their pearls and flat-out refused, offering no reason beyond pure ego and pettiness for everyone to witness.
They refused. They refused consent, and they would not provide any real reason for their reasoning. They objected without reason, and objected because April 18th deadline is not dependent on the timing of the court's order to motion dismiss.
And for the final cherry on top, They pulled the same heartless stunt when Justin's lawyer's house burned down. Imagine being so consumed with winning that you can't even show a shred of basic human compassion after a literal house fire.
The team also refused to delay when Brian Friedman's house burned down, which a judge did ultimately agree to.
Blake's team basically said, "Tough luck, peasant. Deadlines wait for no one." Now the judge is side-eyeing them like, are you serious right now? Because refusing simple courtesies doesn't make them look powerful. It makes them look like spoiled brats throwing tantrums on a playground.
Anyway, now they're writing the judge. Their unreasonable refusal to agree to mutual professional courtesies, none of which would prejudice any party. Wayfarer respectfully requested the court extend the deadline of parties responding to the interrogatories to served upon them to May 14th and extend the deadline for parties to move to amend their pleading.
But don't worry, Blake wasn't done humiliating herself yet. She had a so-called master plan. Welcome to the Blake Lively School of Dirty Legal Games, where everything runs on smoke, mirrors, and weaponized paperwork. Experts are already laughing at how transparent it all is, because Blake's team isn't trying to win with facts or evidence.
Reasoning here, it's like bonkers to me that every time they get a chance to try to be fair or neutral, they refuse.
No. Instead, they're trying to bury Justin Baldoni under a mountain of legal fees by flooding him with pointless filings until he gives up just to make it stop. Very classy behavior from a woman who once loved preaching about feminism and empowerment, right?
I let go of so much, and I gave it to him.
And just when you think Blake couldn't possibly get more ridiculous, she somehow manages to outdo herself. Her team filed an 800-page motion just to dismiss claims against Judd Wallace. 800 pages. Enough paperwork to single-handedly wipe out a small forest.
Lively put one out for the Judd Wallace that had like 800 pages, trying to port over all this. It's a lot, Kim, right?
But sure, Blake, go ahead and remind us how you're the relatable girl next door while your legal team reenacts war and peace in court. It's almost like she thinks the courtroom is just another movie set, and if she buries the script department in enough paper, she'll win an Oscar for most obnoxious litigant. Meanwhile, Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, is already hinting that celebrity depositions are right around the corner.
Just turn the screw that way, whereas Brian keeps threatening them with all the, depositions of celebrities and friends that are going to come out and expose you. One way to really drain your opponent is to just file.
Can you imagine Blake and Ryan being dragged into court and forced to testify under oath without a PR team feeding them lines? Ryan better start practicing his sad puppy face now, because it's going to be brutal.
Of course, it's not good for Blake or Ryan.
And the hypocrisy is the real punchline. Blake and Leslie Sloan are whining about being overwhelmed by discovery requests when they're the ones who started the avalanche. It's like setting your neighbor's house on fire and then complaining about the smoke drifting into your own yard. You honestly couldn't make this stuff up.
I think it's a good look. It's ridiculous, especially when, in the case of Leslie, she has complained about how much discovery has been thrown at her, and it is like a fraction of what the Wayfarer parties have had to deal with.
At this point, the judges, who've seen every flavor of Hollywood nonsense, are probably rolling their eyes so hard they can see their own brains. Judges despise litigants who abuse the legal system, and Blake's entire tantrum strategy could easily backfire spectacularly. One more diva stunt from her team, and the judge might start handing out sanctions like party favors.
As far as Leslie Sloan and Blake Lively can say why, why they're not agreeing. So I guess we will find out one way or the other. That should be in by Friday.
Blake Lively's attempt to strong-arm her way through court is crashing harder than her last shot at being relevant. Watching her unravel is better than any Netflix drama, and the best part is, she's doing it all to herself. No one had to take her down. She's out here swinging at thin air, tripping over her own ego, and face-planting for the entire industry to see.
She seems like a bully. She was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat.
And don't worry, the circus is far from over. Blake's legal strategy is such a disaster that even Ryan's Deadpool sarcasm couldn't save it. Between ignoring court deadlines, showing zero compassion after real tragedies, and throwing 800-page tantrums, Blake Lively has officially fallen from Hollywood royalty to the queen of courtroom clowns. Stay tuned. The meltdown is only just getting started.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, which, he is a big celebrity. and has a huge following.
Just when you thought Blake Lively couldn't possibly tank her career any faster, she went ahead and roped the New York Times into her ongoing PR disaster. Because why not? If she's going down, she might as well drag an entire newspaper with her.
New York Times, you really messed up, because Harvey's not entirely wrong, because you look like complete idiots due to the fact that you didn't do your homework. And you did screw over Justin. It's factual.
Turns out the metadata, the cold, unforgiving tech stuff, suggests that the New York Times might have been a little too cozy with Blake behind the scenes. That's right. She apparently found her new best friends not at some Hollywood brunch, but at NYT headquarters. Journalism? Please, this is starting to look more like fanfiction. And before anyone says that's normal, let's rewind for a quick history lesson. The New York Times v. Sullivan case basically made it nearly impossible for public figures to sue the Times for defamation. You could have them call you an alien from Mars and still lose in court. Even Trump tried and failed. Sarah Palin gave it a go, too, and ended up proving she couldn't find Russia or a winning argument. So Blake Lively thinking she's about to take down the New York Times? That's downright adorable. Someone hand her a know your limits hand.
Lively manipulated her audiences and lied to her audience.
Judge Lyman, who's probably exhausted from babysitting this entire circus, already warned Blake's side back in February 2025. Hey geniuses, the New York Times has litigation privilege. Translation: stop embarrassing yourselves. But did Blake listen? Of course not. Why take advice from a federal judge when you can keep destroying your own reputation in real time? And just when it seemed this fiasco couldn't get any worse, guess who decided to crawl out of the sewers and chime in? None other than Harvey Weinstein. Yes, that Harvey Weinstein. Why he's even talking about Justin is beyond disgusting. Watching him pop up to defend Blake was the PR equivalent of setting yourself on fire to stay warm. He even went on some emotional rant about how the New York Times cherry-picked facts against him and how he should have fought back harder. Like, bro, you're literally in prison. Maybe just sit this one out.
So why is Harvey talking about Justin? Yeah.
Meanwhile, Blake's probably sitting there thinking, yes, Harvey's support will totally fix everything. Like, sis, when Harvey Weinstein starts defending you publicly, that's not a win. It's a giant neon sign flashing. You messed up. It's the ultimate dose of irony. The woman who once branded herself as a champion of female empowerment is now getting moral support from Hollywood's biggest disgrace. Truly a stunning career move.
It is sort of a brutal torture trap they're trying to do. I don't know. It's the only thing I can sort of make sense of it. Meanwhile, make sense of this. Harvey W. Feels for Baldoni. Oh my God, this is disgusting.
The New York Times, in true Pulitzer-winning fashion, responded with calm precision, basically saying, none of the facts in our coverage are in dispute. Translation: Blake, sit down, take several seats, and maybe grab a snack because you're not winning this. Honestly, watching the Times politely dismantle her entire argument with a single sentence was more entertaining than half the movies she's ever starred in.
The fact that Blake Lively has been rude and cruel to people throughout her career, it's a fact. They didn't even deny that these things have happened.
The Blake Lively reputation destruction tour hit a new high when Isabella Ferrer made her dramatic exit. Despite never even filming together, Blake allegedly tried to pressure Isabella into backing false claims. But Isabella, being the queen she is, deleted Blake from her life like toxic waste. The public caught on quickly. Isabella's star is rising while Blake's has turned into pure PR poison. According to the Daily Mail, Isabella felt manipulated and betrayed, and honestly, Blake turning allies into enemies this fast should qualify as an Olympic sport. And if you think Isabella's shade was a one-time thing, think again. Blake's manipulation has been a full-time operation behind the scenes, with even Taylor Swift's camp hinting that Blake treats friends like disposable tissues.
Told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it.
And now her co-stars are catching on to the same energy. Imagine being so fake that even Taylor Swift's squad, the very group that practically invented squad goals, is giving you the side eye.
I think that Taylor Swift is publicly backing away from this friendship because she's intelligent.
Blake's leaked text messages are yet another spectacular train wreck. Allegedly, she was planting the idea that she was being smeared, even though she had absolutely no real evidence. It's like she believed that if she repeated it enough times, it would somehow become true. Classic Hollywood logic. Fake it till you make it, and then fake it even harder when you get caught.
Swift. She is getting deposed. It is happening. I have it on very good authority that Taylor Swift is...
Blake tried dragging two mystery actresses into her legal disaster, insisting they'd back her up, but they didn't. No one's risking perjury for the queen of delusion. Once depositions start, her Instagram fairy tales won't save her. It's either cold, hard truth, or total collapse, and we all know how that's going. Her entire manipulation empire is crumbling faster than her IMDb rankings. Between cozying up to the New York Times, getting public fist bumps from Harvey Weinstein, trying to recruit actresses who saw nothing, and leaking desperate text messages, she's managed to alienate nearly everyone she's ever worked with. This isn't just a bad look, it's a full-blown PR apocalypse.
We have seen the evidence, and we haven't seen any evidence from Blake Lively that supports her claims. And I'm sure she's going to cut that out from the actual article. I think it's coming out later this week, at some point next week.
Meanwhile, poor Ryan Reynolds was spotted fleeing New York City alone, looking like he'd just watched his entire life flash before his eyes. The man aged 10 years in a single airport sighting. You can practically hear his inner monologue. This is not the brand partnership I signed up for. Imagine going from Hollywood's witty golden boy to being known as the guy whose wife torched their entire empire with one lawsuit. Honestly, Ryan deserves a standing ovation just for surviving this PR inferno without spontaneously combusting.
Weinstein, shut up. You have no basis to talk. What are you doing here?
And of course, the desperate PR spin machine is in full meltdown mode. People magazine, bless their hearts, tried to patch up the sinking ship by quoting sources claiming Blake has no regrets and is doing all this for her daughters. Right, because nothing teaches your kids about integrity quite like manipulating co-stars, weaponizing the media, and collecting public endorsements from Harvey Weinstein.
There'll be a lot stronger defamation claims against Ryan Reynolds.
Behind the scenes, insiders are whispering that Blake's camp is in full-blown panic mode, and you don't need a gossip columnist to confirm it. The flop sweat is practically seeping through the screen. Fans and media aren't buying the act anymore either. These were the same people who once called Blake and Ryan couple goals every time they posted a cute Instagram roast. Now, their comment sections read more like a digital funeral. The glamorous golden couple narrative has officially been replaced with clueless, entitled chaos, and honestly, it's about time. Strip away the PR sparkle, and what are Blake and Ryan really selling? Fake humility, curated wokeness, and now, full-scale legal disasters.
Everything I experienced with the Times reported on me in 2017. They did the same thing. Cherry-picked what fit the story and ignored critical context that could have challenged the narrative. I should have stood up and fought back then.
Once adored by Hollywood, Blake and Ryan have officially downgraded to what can only be described as Hollywood's cringe royalty. You know it's rock bottom when Twitter users are roasting you in between Taylor Swift album updates. Every desperate headline, awkward public appearance, and forced smile just adds more fuel to the dumpster fire. The illusion is shattered, and no perfectly filtered Instagram post is ever putting it back together.
Blake Lively. She's married to Ryan Reynolds. These are Hollywood A-listers. He's going to put him on the map. And she agrees to be his female co-star. Great, they're off to the races.
But let's be honest, the best part hasn't even arrived yet. If Blake still thinks she's marching towards some grand courtroom victory, someone needs to hand her a reality check wrapped in caution tape. Here's a fun legal fact for those keeping score. 95% of federal cases either settle or get dismissed. Meaning all this chaos, all this self-inflicted PR suicide, will probably end with a whimper, not a bang. No dramatic courtroom showdown, no cinematic I rest my case moment. Just Blake cutting a massive check, signing an NDA, and quietly fading into irrelevance.
You have to recognize and respect the fact that she is a machine, okay? She is an absolute machine. She will do everything to protect her image.
Judge Lyman has made it clear he has no interest in babysitting this Hollywood soap opera until retirement. He's pushing for a quick settlement because even he's tired of Blake turning his courtroom into Real Housewives, Celebrity Edition, without any solid evidence. Her so-called conspiracy claims, especially against the New York Times, are legally Swiss cheese, and not the good kind, but the stale, moldy kind nobody wants at the buffet. So when this inevitably settles, it'll serve as a silent, yet brutal admission that Blake lost. No matter how many horse farm photo ops or "I'm doing this for my daughters" leaks her PR team spins out, everyone will know exactly what happened, because you can't PR spin reality, not when half of Hollywood and the entire internet are laughing in real time. And let's not even mention the financial bloodbath. Legal fees and overpriced PR firms don't come cheap, especially when they're only making her look worse. Every day she keeps fighting this unwinnable battle. She bleeds more money and dignity. It's the slowest, saddest career suicide mission in recent memory, and by the time this flaming disaster crawls to a quiet settlement, Blake's America's sweetheart image will be nothing more than a dusty relic, a cautionary tale whispered at brunch by celebrities who now know better than to go anywhere near the Blake Lively brand.
This doesn't look like a woman under stress. This doesn't look like a woman who can barely get out of bed, as we've seen in reports. This looks like a woman who cannot wait to be back in the...
Because here's the real punchline. Blake Lively tried to build an empire on fake victimhood, performative vulnerability, and a carefully manufactured illusion of moral superiority. Every photo, every interview, every red carpet moment was part of a calculated campaign to sell the idea that she was different, more real, more grounded, more authentic than the Hollywood stereotype. But behind the designer gowns and Pinterest-perfect Instagram feed, it was all smoke and mirrors. Now that illusion is collapsing in real time, and there's no stylist, editor, or Ryan Reynolds smirk that can patch it back together. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, the man once painted as the villain, has the best seat in the house, watching this implosion unfold like the season finale of a show he never wanted to star in. He doesn't even need to lift a finger. Blake's doing all the heavy lifting for him.
I think it means that America Ferrara is no longer supporting Blake Lively.
Hollywood's former golden couple has officially become Hollywood's biggest cautionary tale, falling from #couple goals to full-on yikes faster than you can say bad legal advice. It's a masterclass in how not to handle a scandal, lie badly, leak desperately, play the victim, weaponize the press, and then act surprised when no one applauds. When your co-stars, your so-called friends, and even the New York Times want nothing to do with you, maybe the issue isn't a grand conspiracy of haters. Maybe the problem is just Blake. Because no amount of horse rides, Pinterest quotes, or Ryan's strained red carpet smiles can save this sinking ship. The show's over, the crowd's gone, and all that's left is Blake Lively standing alone under a flickering spotlight as her once perfect empire fades into silence. Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more Hollywood meltdowns.